Well, greetings, managerial communication students. This is week number 5 in our 8-week course here at Norco College, BUS22. We're on the downside of our class, so we've reached the peak, and now we're headed down doing the last 4 weeks. And I believe it'll be a full 4 weeks because we had that Canvas shutdown. We're going to probably extend the end of class date to maybe that Sunday. I think it's the 14th of June, whereas the class was going to end on the 12th. So I will give you to the 14th to get everything done. Hopefully either way, hopefully you're not graduating. I think if you were, you would have already approached me to make sure you were going to pass the class if this was required for graduation. I think most students taking this class are probably they're probably pretty close to being done, but nonetheless, hopefully you're tracking good enough to graduate, and I'm sure that you are. And if you need any help with that, please let me know. But either way, all of our final assignments will be due on the 14th, even though the class may end earlier. So let's go ahead and take a look at what you're going to be looking at this week, which is chapters 8 and 9. So we're looking at really kind of routine business messages as you are writing your first business document. You're going to be writing you wrote your memo last week, so you're writing your second business document, which is going to be a negative news email. And I'll go over that writing assignment with you as well. We did get a little bit set behind because of the shutdown with Canvas, so I did extend your due date on your prior week's assignments to last Wednesday, and that means you didn't have quite a full week to get everything done for week number 4. But I did remove a few assignments, so hopefully that helped a little bit in you being able to get caught up. If you still need more time or you're running behind, please let me know. I also did extend the individual presentation assignment as well as the discussion post number 1. And I did that so that way you could, wouldn't have too much to do with the shortened week. And again, it was due the week that Canvas was shut down and you weren't even able to upload it. So I did extend it another week, and just so you know, I will start grading this week all of those assignments that you turned in. So I may not have gotten to them yet, but I will start grading them and getting all that done. And the way that I do the individual presentations as far as grading is I will not grade yours unless you have already viewed and commented on other students, and I can see whether or not you've done that. So if you've posted yours and you're wondering why I haven't graded it, or don't get to grading it, make sure you've also went in and viewed other students' presentations and then commented on them. And that'll be the quickest way for you to get yours graded. In fact, I will go through all of them, and everyone who's already done that, I will grade, usually in my first round of grading. If you didn't do that, then chances are I may not end up grading yours until the class is at the very end. So if you want to grade and you want to know how you've done, make sure you've completed the assignment by adding the comments on other students' presentations. So let's go ahead and take a look then at what you should be working on this week, just to make sure that it's clear. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my class our class in Canvas. So here we are. We're still in module number 2. This was technically our second week in module number 2, although again we had that shutdown, so it kind of set everything back. So as I look at module 2, this was last week, so I did remove the check-in assignment from last week. You still had the quiz, you still had to read the chapters, and again, you had until the 13th to do your first exam, which was Wednesday, as well as your check-in assignment for that week. That was the week of the shutdown. Now we've just finished this week, and again, you had till Wednesday, so that basically gave you Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to complete the quiz, to complete the writing assignment, and then it gave you another full week to complete the presentation and the first discussion post. Typically, what I would be doing this last week that just passed was starting a new check-in assignment, a new discussion post, as well as a new quiz, etc. But I got rid of the check-in, I got rid of the discussion post, and I pushed it off to this week. So as we move now into this week, you're going to be looking at chapters 8 and 9, and notice you do have your discussion post right here. So this is your new discussion post. Normally you would have 3 weeks to do that, but because of the shutdown, you're going to be given 2 weeks to do it, which is still enough time. And that's typically how I do a lot of my classes. You have 2 weeks to do the discussion post. I did do a Zoom session on both business writing in general, as well as your discussion post number 2. So I already did the assignment for you. So if you just watch that video, and that video was emailed to you last week, so watch that video. It'll basically do your discussion post number 2. Even though I'm basically giving you the do's and don'ts of business writing, you still need to post it. You still need to respond to other students' posts, and you still need to submit your final list next week. So keep in mind, you still need to follow the assignment instructions, but I actually have did the do's and don'ts for you. So you can technically copy my list and submit that, but you're going to need to submit it twice. Or if you've already submitted your initial list, then you can submit my list as your final list. And then you're going to be working on a negative news email. And this is a 50-point assignment, just like your memo last week was a 50-point assignment. And basically, you're here going to be formatting an email. I give you a sample, so pay close attention to that sample because it gives you exactly how an email should be formatted and what I'm expecting you to format your email like. Also, so there's basically 3 things you're going to be graded on with this assignment. Number 1, did you format it like an email? And I give you a sample of that. Number 2, did you follow the what's called the indirect strategy for a negative news message? Indirect strategy means you do not reveal the bad news, in this case, until after you've built my interest, after you've given me all the reasons for the negative news. And so a negative news message should start with a buffer, some kind of neutral statement. Your chapter explains that quite well. Then continue with all of the reasons for the negative news, but not revealing the negative news. Then after I've given all the reasons, now I reveal, based on all these things, here's what's going to happen. And then I reveal the negative news. So it needs to be formatted using the indirect strategy for a negative news message, following that format: buffer, reasons, negative news, and then a courteous close at the end. So that is the second criteria that you'll be graded on. The third criteria is, did you follow some of the rules and guidelines for business writing that I covered in the business writing video? This is things like, is your document all plain text? Is it all just plain paragraphs, plain text, long paragraphs, all one paragraph? Those are all no-nos and do-nots. Business writing is a visual medium. It's different than writing an essay, and so it must be visually appealing to your reader. And that means that you use things like headings, short single-spaced paragraphs, bullet lists, numbered lists, text design such as bold, italic, underline, all caps. All that should be in the document. It should look very neat, clean, little chunks of information going down the page, whether that be a bullet list or a paragraph with a heading. And in those paragraphs, text design should be used to make the most important details of each paragraph stand out. And that's what you're going to be graded on. So 3 things. Is it formatted like an email? Is it using the negative news strategy the indirect strategy for a negative news message? And did you utilize a lot of text design to improve the readability of your document? And that was covered in great detail in the business writing video I did earlier this week. So you must watch that video in order to really understand how the document should look. All right. So that's what you need to do this week. Next week, you have one more week of business writing, which is going to be a persuasive letter. So you're going to be formatting a letter. I'll be doing a video on that here next week on Monday. So be watching for that to come out, going over those assignments. All right. Have a great week number 5. And again, you'll see me on video for week number 6.